Hello, I'm Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Time for my quarterly market update, this one for fall 2019. We just got the latest stats package in from the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board for the September sales, and a few caveats I always have to put out there. The Vancouver Real Estate Board is the source for these stats. I know there's a lot of people out there that are throwing out all kinds of stuff. If they're not from the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board, you got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt, because you can spin these things any way you want. Even the Vancouver Board stats, the official stats, are incredibly wide-ranging and vague. Because, for instance, for the stratified market, they take into account everything. Luxury three-bedroom homes in Cole Harbour that are at $5 or $6 million, and studio apartments in the West End priced at $375. The markets are completely different. The luxury market in Cole Harbour is favoring buyers and has for the last almost 3 years, whereas the studio or one-bedroom condo market downtown is still favoring the sellers. But the other thing I got to point out too, this is going to be the unbiased, no spin, no agenda numbers here, because I have to always continue to tell people I don't have any biases towards this market, contrary to what some people think on my YouTube channel, that I'm a typical realtor and I need to keep pumping all this stuff to keep my business going. And of course I don't. I sell homes in buyer's market, seller's market, and balance market. The other thing you have to understand is I work both ends of deals. I'm a listing realtor primarily, but I also work with a lot of buyers, so I'm working both ends. And, I don't have to spin the stats anyway. I think if you've been watching my blog for the last 8 or 9 years, most people know that. I just give you the straight goods here. Unlike a lot of the stuff that I see online here that they have an agenda. They want to try and spin it in a way that this market is crashing. There's that guy on Facebook here that has been had a Facebook page for the last couple of years that continues to try and tell people that the market is in crash mode. Prices are dropping when they're not, as I'm going to point out to you here in a minute. So the latest stats for September, sales are up 46%. Huge number. Not unexpected though, because they do these year over year. So September 2019 compared to September 2018, sales are up 46%. Now, not surprising, because September of 2018 was one of the worst Septembers on record. It was an incredibly slow month, so it was a low bar to jump here. But keep in mind, this is now the third month in a row that sales are up. And if you've been watching my blog here since the spring, I've been telling you guys right from the front lines here that the market is starting to shift again. People are back out buying. They're putting offers in. There's a lot more multiple offers out there again. It's not like it was 2 summers ago, but I am seeing more and more multiple offers starting to come online here, especially in the 1-bedroom, 1-in-dans, 2 bedrooms priced under $750 or $800K. That market is still favoring sellers. I'm going to give you some frontline stories here in a minute, which is another thing that very few bloggers can do. They're either not realtors, or if they are, they're not doing the number of deals I'm doing. They're not privy to, I've always got listings, so I'm always getting offer night every week on my listings, and then I'm always representing buyers. So I can give you guys the real tangible story of where the market's at, unbiased, based on real life stories here of what I'm doing on a weekly basis, which I'll get to in a minute. But, sales, you have to look at it. The market now overall has shifted now into the low end of a balanced market. So that's taking into consideration everything. But like I always do here, let's just break it down by product, price range, city, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to keep it to a couple of minutes because, as you guys know as well, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to stats. I'm under the belief that if you're looking to buy a principal residence, you're renting right now, and you're pre-approved, then just buy the damn thing. You need a roof over your head for 30 or 40 years. Don't worry about what the market does next month or the month after that or next year. You buy it today and hold it for 25 years. You're going to be very pleased with the capital gains you get. I'll guarantee you that. But we've got to break it down by market and product here. So I'll give it to you in a nutshell. If you're looking for a 1-bedroom downtown Vancouver condo or surrounding areas, Fairview, Mount Pleasant, Kitsilano, Canby corridor, for the most part, these good 1-bedrooms, 1-in-dans, or even 2-bedroom units priced under $800K are still favoring the seller. The price to active listings ratio, which is one of the best stats, still not, going to give you the full story, but the price to active listing ratio is probably the best statistic to look at. It's now at about 21, but I can tell you for that market, if you go into the good downtown one-bedroom units, priced under $650, it's probably hovering around 25. Now, the price to active listings ratio, anything over 20 is considered a seller's market. From 12 to 20 is balanced. Under 12 is a buyer's market. The condo market downtown, the good one beds, one and dens, have never slipped in even into a balance market. They've come close. They're at the lower end of a seller's market, but they've basically been unscathed, as I've been saying for a long time on my blog here. Prices are very near what the all-time high prices were. Maybe they're off 5%. And the reason for that is you're not getting 10 and 15 offers. There is still now, I'm starting to see some multiple offers, but they're not 10 and 15. They're 2, 3, 4 offers. But they're off 5 to 6% on the good ones at most. And some of them now I'm seeing are selling every bit at what they were selling for peak 18 months ago. On the good one bedrooms, one and dens, and somewhat two bedrooms priced under $900K. As you move up the food chain in the condo market, you get into the $1.5 million, $2 million, $3 million, it slowly starts to change. At 1.5, it's probably more balanced, probably sitting at an active sales to listings ratio at probably about 16 or 17. So the high end of a balanced market. Once you get over $3 million condos or townhomes, now it's favoring the buyers, but barely. It's probably still buyer's market or at the low end of a balanced market. Inventory for these products continue to be pretty tight, especially if you're looking for a good one-bedroom condo in Vancouver area, in Kitsilano or Fairview or Canby. I'll give you a case example right here from the front lines. This is last Tuesday, I was involved in a offer situation. So this is, I'll give you the name of it. It's called the Olive. It's a 13-year-old strata at Canby and 16th. It's actually on Tupper Street, which is the block west of Canby. I know this strata very well. I've had a sale there in 2017, and I had a listing and sale in there in 2018. Built by Cressy, well-run strata, good location, close to transit. My sale there last year was a larger one-bedroom and den. Offhand, I believe I had 4 or 5 offers on the property. It sold for about $35,000 over asking. And that's the way that strata has gone. Up until maybe last winter, some of the stuff in there was selling without multiple offers. But prior to that, most of the units in there, when they did come up, were selling at multiple offers. We I was representing the buyer on this. This was a 550 square foot, one bedroom with parking, priced at $499. Now that is a good price. That is what I call a price it low and watch it grow strategy, which I'm starting to happen again here. Haven't seen it for about 6 months. Because the activity now is up again, I'm starting to see realtors do the price it a little bit on the lower side and get the bidding wars going. I don't know if this is going to be a trend that's going to continue on throughout the fall, but I have been seeing it now the last 4 or 5 weeks. Long story short here, I'm representing the buyers. This unit at $499 is low. This unit, I think, is probably worth closer to about $550, and that's what we offered on the home, $550 or $50,000 over asking. Now, I knew we were in trouble when I called. Offers have to be in by 5 p.m. I called at 1 o'clock, the listing realtor, to see if he had any offers in hand. At that point, he told me he already had 11 offers in hand at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At the end of the day, at 5 p.m., he ended up getting 22 offers on the property. Property sold for $580, subject free. He told me that he took a second round of bidding. We were out of it after the first round. He took a second round of bidding and took the top 5 offers. All 5 of those, of course, were subject free. So sold for $80,000 over asking, 22 offers. Now, anybody that tells you that the condo market is in free fall, which some guys are online here telling you that it is, ask them for proof of this, because I'm giving you a frontline story here. I mean, think about this. I don't care how low you price these units to try and get a bidding war. When you get 22 offers, that is not the sign of a market that's in free fall or a market that's favoring buyers in any way. I don't care how low you want to price it to try and get bidding wars. I mean, think about it. That's 21 buyers, many of which offered cash subject free, that are still in the market here looking for a good one bedroom in that price range. 21 buyers just on that one sale that are still floating around. And this is what I'm seeing on my listings, and this is what I'm seeing with many of the investor clients I work with on a regular basis. It's a waiting game on the good units. When they hit, you got to be quick. And you're starting now to see multiple offers on some of these, depending on where they price it. Of course, some of them are still trying to price these things at the record setting or even above the high water mark of a year or year and a half ago. In some cases there, it's only going to be your offer, or in some cases, if they're really overpriced, you got to let it come down a little bit. But overall, that market is still favoring the seller, contrary to what you're going to see, you'll read on some of these message boards and some of these Facebook guys. If we move up to the detached market, as I've been talking about all summer long, the starter level detached market, so in Richmond that might be under 1.3 million. In East Vancouver, let's say it's a Vancouver special with a suite down or 2 suites priced under 1.6. That market is healthy and on the upper end of balanced. It's not a buyer's market for that and hasn't been now for at least a year, in my opinion. Those homes are selling. The only thing that is still sluggish and is still favoring buyers, again, is that luxury detached market or that luxury condo market. But that is a very small percentage of the market that I've pointed out many times, yet it's the one that these pundits continue to point at, that the market's in free fall. This house in Kerrisdale that was priced at $5 million, they just slashed the price by $1 million. Well, what they don't tell you is the $5 million price was dreaming, and $4 million or 3.5 is probably more realistic, and it probably will sell. But that market for sure is still favoring the buyers. And eventually it probably will turn, but that makes up a very small percentage of the market. The Vancouver market is condos, stratified townhomes and condos. And studios, one bedrooms continue to favor the seller. So we'll see where this market goes going forward. You got to be careful with these stats packages because they cover a wide brush on what they're talking about. But I just gave you the numbers here. If you want a condo, it's still probably favoring the seller. As you move up the food chain, it's favoring more of the buyers. But overall market is pretty healthy, balanced, high-end balance for the most part. We'll see where it goes. You know, the September bar was set very low, as I said, up 43% or 46%. Could be playing possum. It was easy to jump that September 2018 bar. We'll see where it goes moving forward. But again, I've been stressing to many people here, that one bedroom condo or 2 bedroom condo market, especially in Vancouver, remember I'm talking Vancouver, my main market, is pretty healthy. When you're getting 22 offers on a condo, that tells you right there where the market is going here. And I've been seeing that from the front lines on a lot of my listings. I just listed a townhouse yesterday in Richmond. 2 days ago, I had an agent's open, a sneak peek on it. It's a nice older condo, needs a full reno though. I've got it priced well for what it is. You're going to need to put 30, 40, 60,000 into this thing, probably 40 minimum. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, needs a reno. But I had 17 parties through my sneak peek, agents open, public open yesterday afternoon on a Thursday. So I'm running open houses this weekend. I'm expecting a big turnout there, but I've been seeing this now for the last couple of months on my listings. The only thing again that's sluggish is the higher end luxury stuff. I mean, I had a luxury home priced over $4 million out in Burnaby Mountain earlier in the year. I took it off the market. That market is slow. There's just not a lot of buyers stepping up in that $3, $4, $5 million price range. They're still selling some of the homes, but you've got to be aggressive on the price. The rest of the market though, the main part of the market, the strata, attached properties, is still pretty healthy, but we'll see where it goes. Maybe it's just playing possum for this month and next month. Maybe it'll slow down again later in the fall or in the winter. But for now, pretty healthy market, condo market. If it's a good unit, if you're not getting multiple offers, it's going to sell pretty quick within a few weeks for sure. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, I'll see you next week.